Hey guys, this is Nod Lammers of Invoked 101, and today we're doing another live duel. This one is me versus Carlos. He's playing Dark Dinosaur. I'm playing Invoked Mekk-Knight. Again, I'm using kind of a janky mic. The stand's still a little messed up. We're playing down at Dragon's Keep, and I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's just the camera or if it's the actual lights down there, but I remember in some of the earlier live duels that I posted that the light looked a little bit more yellow. But so he rolls a 64, so he rolls the highest number. He's gonna make me go first, which yeah, if the mic sounds a little weird, that's the reason. But yeah, so anyone who's played Invoked Mekk-Knight knows that the deck does have a bit of trouble going first. So yeah, so we're gonna start with terraforming and grab the invoked field spell. Activate it to get Alistair, trying to bait out that Ash, trying to see when or if he has it. So grab Alistair. You can see he has the Effect Veiler in hand. He also has a Soul Charge. Activate Alistair. And he's going to drop the Veiler on the Alistair to prevent the invocation search. I'm going to set a card. And pass turn. So he has another Effect Veiler in hand, oddly enough. He's going to set a card in front of Alistair, pick it back up. He's going to play Pot of Desires. I'm checking my hand. I'm going to Ash the Desires. He lets it go through. And then checks his hand and calls by the grave. Which I didn't see what that is. You'll see that his side is a little bit there's a lot of glare coming off that, and I think that's because he's playing with matte sleeves, which sounds really weird, but I've noticed that matte sleeves actually cause a bit of a higher glare on camera than gloss sleeves, which is odd. At least to me, I think that's a bit strange. But yeah, so he draws the 2 off the Pot of Desires. He's starting his game with 7 cards. No, he'd still start with 6, so he's going to go for the Allure. Banishes the Dark Grepher from the hand. Summons Soul Eating Oviraptor. Activate its effect to and he sends 1 to the grave here off this one. So he's sending Overtext Colitis, and the Colitis is going to get the pill. I still think that pill card is a little bit insane. Not the pill card, the Soul Eating Oviraptor. I still think that card should have been hit on the ban list. It might be a little bit too late now, but definitely if something ever happens more with dinosaurs, I do think that Soul Eater will need to be addressed. So yeah, so he doesn't activate pill off the bat. He's going to swing into Alistair with Soul Eater. So I'll take 800 points. And this is when he's going to drop the evolution pill. He's going to banish the dinosaur and Veiler from his hand. So I don't have to deal with the second effect Veiler, but I do have to deal with the ultimate conductor Tyranno that he is summoning. He's asking about the field spell. You can see the Psyframe driver in his deck right there. It will become relevant in a moment. So it just means he's playing the Psyframe package. So, for those of you wondering if so end phase, I'm going to flip Scapegoat. For those of you wondering, I don't actually have the viewfinder flipped around whenever I play. I have it flipped backwards so I can't see both hands. That's just like a thing, because usually I have someone with me to help me man the camera. So yeah, so I'm going to draw a card, and right now I'm just kind of looking at what I can convert into Link monsters, because this is still something that I think is really strong. I think Scapegoat is a really strong card against dinosaurs, purely because tokens and Link monsters can't go down, and tokens almost always nowadays get converted into Link monsters. So first one's going to be Miss Radiant. We're going to convert a second one into Link Spider. And so now it's just a matter of kind of managing what I have here. I do have a spot to put a Mekk-Knight behind the Miss Radiant in front of the Conductor. But I'm going to go with the Mekk-Knight right there in front of the Oviraptor. So the reason I pick blue is because blue can... not blue, purple. Purple can dodge out of the Conductor's effect. So if I need to get him out of there, I can. And plus, Conductor will help me... not Conductor. Purple will help me search out useful Mekk-Knights to keep my plays going. So... I'm asking him if everything's good. He's asking if the field spell protects the Mekk-Knights. I'm telling him no. Oddly enough, the Invoked field spell does not protect Mekk-Knights. I think Mekk-Knights have their own field spell, don't they? It's like World Legacy Crusade or something like that. I feel like they have a field spell. So yeah, so he's activating it by destroying Oviraptor. I'm chaining purple to banish and search. I believe I'm going to search blue here. Yep. So we're going to get blue. And still have my normal summon, but no real... Which is great. The deck... that's the thing about Invoked Mekk-Knight, is that the only real normal summon it has is Alistair. So you can really save your normal summon for some stuff, but on the downside of that, if they can cut off your special summoning, it really is detrimental to the deck. So I'm going to go with Blue Sky and put him in defense mode, because he gets that big 2,500 defense booty. And right now I need to answer the Conductor Tyranno. So I'm going to grab, not Red Moon, but I'm going to grab the Indigo Eclipse. So this is, I need to answer the Blue Sky right now. Not the Blue Sky, the Conductor right now. Which is a big issue for my deck, as like not a whole lot in my deck can get over it. I can crash with it with Makaba and Alistair, but that's sacrificing 2 cards to get rid of his 1, so it's probably good on his end, not so much on mine. So it really is a play. It takes some setup to do. I'm reading Conductor just to make sure of a few things, making sure it can die. So I'm gonna convert these 2 into Decode. I honestly don't think that was good on my part, because I could have just used something else. I'm going to put Cerberus there, and then Cerberus has his effect. I'm double checking because I had never... I don't use the Mekk-Knights, not the Mekk-Knights, the Nightmares too often, and so... I'm double checking Cerberus. I just remember picking Cerberus up the day he came out, like down at the sneak peek. So I remember picking up Cerberus, Goblin, and who was it? Phoenix. But I ended up selling the Goblin. But yeah, so Cerberus is going to pop the Conductor, and I'm going to swing for 28 and 19. I believe is what the Cerberus has. So. So doing some damage here, putting some damage on board. So he's going to draw a card, and he has the Soul Charge in hand. He's going to check his graveyard. Drops another Pot of Desires. I don't really have an answer for it. He's going to draw his 2. I had a token in my graveyard. So he's checking to see what he banished. I do think it's interesting that Pot of Desires is still being played. He's going to go for Allure, considering that usually a card like that but Pot of Desires is a good card, so I can kind of see it still being played. I'm surprised it's not in the new Battles of Legend set. I thought they might have reprinted it there, considering it is kind of a card that's in somewhat of demand. So he's going to banish the Overtext from his hand from the Allure. He's going to activate Dragon Shrine, oddly enough. And that's another thing. I always think that like people were like, oh, Dragon Shrine's good because it sends Dark Worm to the graveyard. But I don't know. I just find that really odd that like, because it's a Foolish Burial for 1 card, people decide to play it. So, because if you draw the Dark Worm, it's kind of dead. So, I don't know. Just a bit strange to me. But yeah, so this is the weird... later on, he actually admitted to misplaying here. Because he should have done something else. But he is going to go into... so he's just asking about Cerberus. Yeah, I'm just double check. Ooh, snap! Sorry. I'm just double checking for him. He's gonna drop Soul Charge, and so he's gonna summon back the Oviraptor, the Dark. I tell him you can't revive the Tyranno because Tyranno is was not properly summoned. Going to summon the Dark Worm, and he's going to summon the Effect Veiler, which he could have saved himself 1,000 life points here if he had summoned Dark Worm prior to Soul Charge, but I guess he had committed to the Soul Charge, so he was like, you know what, whatever. So he's going to activate Oviraptor's effect. I'm going to Ogre it, and he's going to Call by the Grave my Ogre. Definitely a... I definitely think that Called by the Grave is a good card for budget players, as it lets budget players like replace what would be hand traps with Called by the Grave to help them mitigate the hand trap issue. So he's going to search Ultimate Conductor Tyranno because of course he is. So I have no idea what he was doing here at first. I was really confused by why he brought Effect Veiler back. I thought it was the strangest thing. He's just checking out Decode Talker. Oddly enough, still one of the Decode Talkers. I find him still being played is interesting because like I get it, he gets a lot of attack points, but he also has his the negation, which is pretty good. So yeah, he Trishes me, and I have 1 card in hand. I read the Trishula to see if it targets. Trish does not target, so he's going to banish Alistair from my graveyard, my card in my hand, which is blue with his Indigo, and my Decode Talker. So I do have Purple Nightfall coming back on my turn. He has Trish. He has set up for Conductor, so which is exactly what he's going to do. He's going to banish Conductor and Oviraptor and make the regular Conductor. So I'm going to draw Standby Phase. I'm going to get Purple back. And so yeah. So using just what I've drawn and Purple, I'm kind of... It looks bad. It definitely is rough. Especially with that Conductor. But playing around Conductor is something that me personally, I feel I've gotten adept at it, as I've played against 3 dinosaur decks in high school, and they spammed out Conductor like no tomorrow, and one of my buddies even still plays the deck today, just not this variant. But so it's always different, the mindset between playing against the Friends dinosaur deck and this kind of dinosaur deck. So right now I'm just checking through my extra. He's holding on to the Conductor's effect. So I'm going to normal summon Effect Veiler, and he's going to activate. I am going to chain Purple, and that's what I was kind of waiting for. I needed to get that away. So I'm going to search Blue Sky here. I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, what do I need? What do I need? And eventually I come up with, I need this one. So, and this is another thing I feel. So he puts Trishula and, so I'm going to go Blue Sky's effect. He puts Trishula and Conductor in the same row. And I feel that players who use a column-based deck, something like Magical, maybe not as much Magical Musketeers, but definitely Mekk-Knight players and Extra Link players, like Goki Nightmare, people who play those kinds of decks and like have to understand how columns work, they're more knowledgeable, not knowledgeable, but they're more thoughtful when putting cards in different spots. So it's definitely just a process of going, I need to clear this up, and knowing how to open up your zones is definitely something that the Mekk-Knights are really good at, because they're just super easy to convert into link monsters. So I set a link monster out. It's just insane what's about to happen. I searched yellow and red off of the blue. He's still reading the blue. And so the thing about yellow and red, the Mekk-Knights, is that their popping effects, like to pop back row and to pop monsters, aren't once per turn, because you're supposed to use indigo to move them different places. So I'm gonna make them, and I'm gonna make Underclock Taker, and then I'm gonna make Red Moon. Red Moon's effect to pop the Tyranno. And so then I'm going to activate Red Moon's effect again to banish my purple to pop Trishula. I tell him that's not once per turn. That it's that only the summoning is once per turn. I show him, yes, I banished the blue and purple from my graveyards. So Trishula goes away, and that is game. He only has 600 here, so I swing with anything. I'm trying to think here. I'm just like... but you can see he's picked up his stuff, and it's like, yeah, that's game. So I will see you guys after the time lapse, and we'll pick it up in game 2. All right, and we're just cutting up the decks real quick. I believe he's making me go first again here, and I don't remember if this goes into a game 3 or not, so you're going to have to kind of find with me. Once again, dropping the Terraforming to get the Invoked Field Spell. Activating the Field Spell, still trying to just see if he has the Ash or not. Get the Alistair. We're going to put the... I don't believe I summon Alistair, actually. I believe I set him. So yeah, I'm kind of just like weighing my options here. So yeah, I'm going to set a card, which I believe is Alistair. Set another card. I believe I set a third card. Yep. He's going to draw for his turn. I don't think he has too many monsters in his hand, but... So he's going to play Fossil Dig. I'm going to Ash. And it's good. I'm checking my other cards. He's going to play Foolish Burial. I don't remember what he sends here. I think he sends Dark Worm, but I don't quite recall. So yeah, so he's going to send the Dark Worm. And then Dark Worm's effect to summon itself. He's going to search the Supreme King Gate, which is different. I've never seen anyone search Supreme King Gate in Dinosaurs, so. Shuffling his hand. He's going to activate Pot of Desires. So there's a lot of draw in this deck, or at least like a lot of fixing. He's asking if I have anything. I tell him Ashes once per turn. So I don't know anything else that like stops cards like that. I mean, maybe Droll might stop. I don't know if Droll actually stops that. Because Droll's like drawing or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, so he draws 2 cards, plays a lure. I'm sitting there, I'm like, man, this is like Destiny Heroes. He has to banish the Supreme King Gate out of his hand, which is possible. I think he's trying to draw into Destrudo here, which is really interesting. And I believe he does draw into Destrudo. So yeah, which there it is. So there's Destrudo. He pays half to summon, and he's going to Synchro. Into Black Rose. Gonna activate Black Rose effect. I'm checking to see what I have. I don't have anything. I scoop up my stuff. He's gonna normal summon Avaraptor. Just insane, just insane. He's checking to see what he all hit. I believe he knocked out one of my invocations. So he's gonna dump Overtex, get the pill, and because he does have he has a dragon and a dinosaur in the grave, he can summon. So I don't know why he's having me cut. He's gonna go right into it in like 2 seconds. So yeah, he's gonna activate Pill, banish the Black Rose, and I believe the Overtex, and summon out the ultimate. I get why Pill exists, but to me, Pill doesn't make a whole lot of sense because of how searchable Soul Eater and, by extension, Tyranno are. Both of those cards are really searchable, and Tyranno has a really easy summoning condition, so I don't get why he needed another card to summon him from the deck. I just feel like that's a little insane. I scoop after that. I can't break the board. So once again, go to time lapse, and I will see you guys after that. All right, so we're cutting the decks. Actually, I believe he's just shuffling real quick. But I want to take this moment to talk about kind of what I sided in. I remember like the game 2. I thought we were gonna go into time, but I sided in a lot of my cards. I ended up siding out a lot of my side deck and only leaving in a few cards. I think I left in some Kaijus, and a few other things. So yeah, I believe I had cited in the firecrackers and I took them back out. But yeah, I think the only things I have cited right now might be a Ghost Reaper and no, I cited out my Ghost Reapers. I think it's just Kaiju's. So I opt to go second here. I make him go first, of course, as I actually want to go second. He's gonna Rhoda for Armageddon Knight, or it's either Armageddon Knight or Dark Grepher. I forget. I think Dark Grepher's a fiend, ain't he? So I could be wrong. It might be Dark Grepher that he wrote us for. He keeps checking his hand and going back and forth. My leg's thumping. I can see it. But yeah, so he's gonna go for the Armageddon Knight. Shuffles the deck. And no, or not going for the Armageddon Knight. Okay. Yeah, he does go for Dark Grepher. I thought Dark Grepher was a warrior. So that was a little weird. Usually I don't let stuff like that go through. Yeah, so he's going to ditch the Supreme King Gate 0. It looks like he kind of bricked here to a degree. Or at least like he drew a brick or two. And now he's going to send... he's going to discard a dark and then send a dark. And I believe he's going to send either Overtex or he's going to send... yeah, sending Overtex. I was like, it's either Overtex or Destrudo, so... and Overtex is going to search the pill, so... he does have a dinosaur in grave. He does have another guy in grave, so... I believe the Gate Zeros are... The Supreme King Gates are fiends or spellcasters. So he's going to drop the pill, which is fine. I don't believe I have Ash, so he's going to go for that. So he's going to get the Conductor out on field. I believe he does still have a normal summon, and he does have Oviraptor in hand. I don't know if he's going to go for the Oviraptor or not. It's really it's a bit of a question. Yeah, so he banishes the Gate and the Overtex. He's checking his extra. Well, he was going to. Checks hand. Oh, passes turn, so it's my move. I'm gonna drop the terraforming. Sorry, I got distracted there. I thought there was more to that. Yeah, so I'm gonna drop terraforming, grab the Invoked Field Spell, and activate it. Gonna ask him if it's good. Says it's good, so I'm gonna grab Alistair. Shuffle up the deck. Normal summon Alistair. Ask him if it's good, so it's good. I'm gonna grab Invocation. One of the things you'll notice is that I don't like to... So one of the things I do is I will pass my opponent my deck when I'm done searching through it. I feel that if you keep passing your opponent your deck, like as long as you... So he's going to flip my guy face down. I still get Invocation, and I can still fuse with Alistair because you can still fusion with face downs. As I believe like the ruling for it was like they... So I show him that I got the Invocation. I sit there for a second, thinking I'm going to set a card in front of Conductor. Conductor's already activated his effect. I'm going to summon Move Man. Move Man's effect to move Man. And I believe the next one I summon is Blue. Blue's effect to search 1, and I believe that 1 is purple. Or red. I actually might have the purple in my hand. That would make sense, wouldn't it? If I had the purple in my hand. So I'm going to set another card in front of the one guy. We're going to special purple. I thought I had him. So now I'm sitting there thinking, I have red in my hand. I have a field. I just need to get rid of Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. I also want to get Mechabo on board. So definitely have my pick of what to summon. So we're gonna bounce purple out of there, get him to Wind Up Rabbit away. I really should have Wind Up Rabbited the blue, so that way I could still attack. But I think I did it for purple because I wanted a body. I'm gonna search out another copy of blue just in case. I can't special it right now, but blue was a big playmaker, and that's my logic behind it. So then we're going to go for all 3 Mekk-Knights. Oh, I remember now. I didn't want to sacrifice purple for this. So we're going to sack out all of them, and we're going to special summon the Spectrum Supreme. And so I talked to him about Spectrum Supreme. I tell him what all it can do, because I don't think he's ever seen this card. There's a lot of people who haven't seen the Mekk-Knight Link monster. So I'm going to invoke. I'm going to banish his Conductor from the graveyard, and I'm going to banish Alistair from my field and put Mekka there. So now my guy is susceptible to card effects, but he still can attack directly as there's nothing in his column. And the really cool thing you can do is you can, if there is something that in his column, I think it's either in his column or that he points to, you can just get rid of it and summon a Mekk-Knight from the deck. Which I think is the most impressive. So, I'm sitting here with my one Mekka, and I do something a little silly here. I'm going to swing directly for 3k, and then I'm going to crash with Mekka into the Conductor. So I leave that. What I may have should have done, like watching this, it's his turn. What I should have done was actually waited for a Conductor to go off again and then banished it. So yeah, but his Conductor is gone. It's gone forever. It cannot be revived currently, as it was summoned off of the pill. He passes turn. I wait. I go end phase, activate Scapegoat to get my tokens, and then I actually forget about purple here. Because I draw, and then I play something, and I completely forgot about purple. But I'm going to invoke, banish his other Conductor, banish my Alistair from graveyard to get Mekka back. Shuffle Invocation back and get Ali back to the hand. I even mentioned the purple there. So now I have all these cards. I ask him, I'm like, is that game? He's like, that's game. So there you go. There's too much, just an overflooded board. And like I said, Scapegoat is such a power play card against that deck. He's talking about it, about how he bricked, about all that. But yeah, so that's been the duel. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And tell me what you guys think. Tell me if there were any misplays like you guys always do. And I'll see you guys in the next video.